If you're thinking that this exercise in conceptual clarity about community policing and neighborhood policing and CSWB is not required or needed, and the contemporary definitions and applications of these definitions and terminologies is perfectly fine, then I have something that might surprise you. So this conceptual clarity is not about semantic, right? The confusion is serious and it's operational, because when you isolate community policing from the rest of the operations or departments or directorates within the organization, then that leads to blurring of the roles. It leads to silos. It leads to duplication of roles in some cases. It leads to gaps in service, and it leads to reactive policing. So all those implications, the silos and the gaps and the duplication, all of them leads to making the police services focused only on incident response and law enforcement, and that leaves a perception outside in the community. So externally, the community perception about the police is split into good cops and bad cops, right? And at the same time, they see police only doing enforcement and incident response, and the social service agencies focus on prevention and social development. But the problem is that in the absence of focus on community safety, the community safety actually falls through the cracks, because both sides, the social services and the police, they stick to their respective lanes, and that creates a jurisdictional deadlock where the lack of conceptual clarity leads to using wrong definitions, misdefining roles, misallocating resources, and finally measuring the wrong outcomes, right? So that's why, on the other hand, when you get the conceptual clarity and you get the definitions right, and you get the roles right, you come up with shared outcome measures for community safety, and then you come up with specific roles and responsibilities for the units, for the directorates within the police services, and for the social services sector and the municipality and residents outside. And collectively you focus on those shared outcomes for community safety, and then community safety doesn't become a victim. Community safety becomes sustainable and integrated, and then that leads to the much needed alignment that creates coordinated intervention. That's why conceptual clarity is the most important exercise that we need at this point in time about community safety.